I have a confession. I am still very much triggered. I still get angry. I still get upset. I still fuss. I still argue. I'm not completely healed just yet. Even though I understand where a lot of this anger has come from, and I've gone through years of therapy, I am still very much triggered, especially behind the wheel, especially when somebody is doing something to me that I know I don't do to other people. I believe I have a good heart. You know, when you have a good heart, it's not about you thinking highly of yourself. It's okay to think highly of yourself. It's not about bragging about yourself, and it's okay to brag about yourself, but it's about authentically knowing who you are. And I know for a fact, I don't go out after people, I don't come for people. I try my best to either mind my business, stay to myself, or give people praise where praise is due. And I'm very much respectful of people and considerate of people, time and space. I don't just barge in people's spaces. I don't disrespect or at least try to disrespect your time. So any of those things are reflected back to me, it's very hard for me to deal with. Very hard. So if somebody is cutting me off in traffic, that I tend to blow up. If a particular person comes into my space, I'm automatically irritated and they say one wrong thing and I'm going off. I am. And I just have to keep reminding myself to be patient with myself because I am on a journey. A lot of the stuff that I'm going through, I've been carrying this baggage since I came onto this planet. And for most of you, so have you. If you're anything like me, you're still very much triggered. You're still very much based in your emotions. I think it's time for us to really settle down into a space of learning to focus more on ourselves. But for some of us, first, we have to figure out where these triggers are coming from. If you were anything like me, you had an idea of where these triggers came from, but it it never really completely surfaced for you the origination. Sometimes you don't need to know the origination because some of those things are ancestral and you're not going to know the origination, but you have to be able to differentiate whether it's something that you brought into this space or something that you were born into or something that was um, brought into this body of yours through the womb, through the lineage. It's layered, and I know it can get confusing, but it's very much layered when it comes to these triggers and all of these emotions that we're carrying. Becoming aware, I think, is the first part. Trying to figure out where these emotions stem from is going to take some time of you sitting with yourself, getting to know who you are. And before I go any further, I decided to do a trigger workbook because we're on this planet, I believe we're on this planet to learn lessons. And if you don't get the lessons, you're going to wind up back here. Remember, this is a spiritual uh, journey for most of us. I am spiritual based. So that is first and foremost. I really authentically believe in my heart of hearts that we are all here to learn lessons. And for me, when I know I am learning lessons is when I'm back in the same situation, just a different person, a different environment, a different space, a different time, but the lesson is still the same. I haven't learned the lesson yet. So therefore, I remain or come back to or circle back to the same situation that reared its head years ago. You don't have to believe that it's lessons that needed to be learned or lessons that need to be learned. There's still a space or origination where these triggers come from. So I created the Trigger Workbook to get us from acknowledging why we're so triggered, why we're so angry, why we're so emotional, to getting to a space of regulation, then to getting to a space of deep clarity, and then getting to a space where we can connect to our higher selves and allow our higher selves to lead us down this path without all the blockages. Because if you don't know, triggers are nothing but emotional blockages. It is causing stagnation in our journey. But you also have to understand that all of it is necessary. Your soul needs this information. I don't want to go too deep into that because this is a different um, lesson uh, aside from the trigger workbook, but it's all necessary. So just be patient with yourself, be gracious with yourself, and let's get into a few of these questions to help you get to a space where you are starting to notice the triggers. You're becoming more aware, you're acknowledging, so that you can get to a space where you are learning to detach yourself from the triggers. So before we begin, um, this workbook, there's a disclaimer, and I want to read some of that. How to use this workbook without turning against yourself. This workbook is completely free, and if you want it, um, I will give access to the Trigger Workbook. But my other course is the 7 week or the 7 day journey, um, regulate to reclaim, is not free. But this one, the gateway, because I want women to start really becoming more aware of their body, what's happening in their bodies, and learning to listen to themselves first and foremost. I'm going to make this free for all of you. This workbook is not asking you to fix yourself, so please do not come in with a mind of I need to fix myself. I need to heal myself. I need to do the work to get no. You're just simply becoming aware. That's it, and that's all. You are asking yourself to observe what is happening in your body now, in this phase of your life, without rushing to explanation or blame. A trigger in adulthood is not the same thing it was in earlier life. In your younger years, triggers were often about survival, safety, approval, or learning how to belong. In midlife, triggers are more about limits, capacity, and truth. They appear when something no longer fits the person you are becoming, the energy you have, or the life you are no longer willing to negotiate yourself into. Triggers intensify when your tolerance has changed, your roles are shifting, your body responds faster than your mind, your values are clearer than your circumstances, your capacity for overfunctioning is shrinking. In other words, triggers are often information. I cannot stress that enough. Your triggers are often information. This workbook treats triggers as data points. At this stage of life, a trigger may be pointing to a boundary, a decision, a role, an expectation, or a version of yourself that others still assume you are, or you may still assume about yourself. This is why is it important to not rush through this workbook. If you want the workbook, please comment workbook, trigger workbook, and I'll send it to you immediately. Okay. This workbook is a sequence of questions. Each question build on the one before. Do not skip around it. Do not overthink your answers. This is not about insight. It's not about right or wrong. It's about what I said, tracking reactions. All right, so the core question, where does the trigger show up? This identifies where your system activates before you interpret it. So you may not know at this moment where the trigger shows up, but what I want you to do next time you get angry or in the heat of the moment, whether you are in traffic, whether you are having an argument with someone you love or don't love, or whatever may come up, whatever begins to trigger you and you start feeling it well up. Where do you feel it? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel your jaws tighten up? Do you feel yourself gripping um, your your fingers and your toes? Where do you feel it? A lot of the time for me, I feel it in my throat, especially if I'm arguing with someone, or I feel a troublesome feeling in my chest, um, or I get shaky a little bit. I get very uncomfortable. So start noticing where the triggers are happening. Um, and what you're going to do is write what you notice without explanation when you get the time. Once you've noticed what's happening, go then later on and write down what you noticed. Um, and notice what the situation was, what was the role the people or the experiences played, um, what channel did it come through? Was it a text? Was it a call? Was it in person? Was it you in traffic? And what was the body signal? Once again, tight jaw, clenched stomach, heat in chest, or a troublesome feeling in chest. Your breathing tenses up. What was it? And what was your initial thought? For me, sometimes it's what the are you thinking? All right. So once again, write down what you notice. I think it would be best if you get the workbook because you're able to go along with me. Um, but where does the trigger show up? Write down what you notice, the situation, the roles involved, whether it was a person or um, just the experience itself. What was the channel, text, call, in person, traffic, whatever, and what was the body signal? What was the body signal? And finally, what was the automatic thought? I'm going to leave you with question one because question one is very heavy. Um, so sit with yourself, and I'm going to give you a couple of days to sit with this core question, and then we can come back and go over those answers if you would like, and then we can go on to question two. Take that question with you, sit with yourself, be sure to sit with yourself and be completely honest. And if it brings up emotions, let it. Do not dismiss it, do not try to suppress it. Let it flow. If it becomes too overwhelming, walk away for a minute, take some deep breaths, chill out, chill out. Take a couple deep breaths, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and relax for 8. And then come back to it and get right back to it, because we need to get to a place where we can identify what's been troubling us. Some of us have been holding on for too long and we're allowing it to dictate our every move. So take this question and let me know what you're experiencing throughout the week. If you just need somebody to sit and talk with you, I'm here. If you need somebody to help you process your emotions, I'm here. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you come up with. Okay. Have a great week and do not let it get the best of you.